Hey guys, Theo here from Believe HiFi, and today I'm going to finally give my overall thoughts on the Final Audio D8000 Pro headphone. Now look, let's first get it out of the way. It's been a long time since those first impressions. And the reason is, as I've said before, I've moved country, but not only that, I'm establishing a bit of an audio room here and establishing a business here in Malta. So as you can see, there's a beautiful speaker to my right, which you'll probably see to your left. And I'm basically setting this room up. I've also had to find work, an apartment, and it's been a bit of a journey. So I apologize again for the long delay, but I'm finally going to give my overall thoughts here. Just before that, please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. There's a large ratio of my viewers who haven't hit the subscribe button, and I can promise you the quality of the content and the frequency of the upload is going to be much better. The way these reviews are going to take place now is I'm just going to have a free talk through things. I feel this way I can actually get across to you better what my opinions are. When I was trying to structure my reviews in the past and talk about this is this part, this is the treble, this is the bass, this is this, and I make it so regimented, I feel like I can't actually talk about the sound coherently. I find that I'm trying to chop and change and put this into there, and I feel like it doesn't actually give you the best picture of what it's like to wear that headphone or listen to that system. So from today, just like my prior review, it's going to be a bit more overall and a bit more general, and to try paint a beautiful picture if possible, because at the end of the day I want you to watch this video, and if you do not have the chance to audition, which I always recommend you audition, at least you can have a very good picture of, is this for you or is this not for you? So without delaying any further, timestamp here, let's go into the D8000 Pro. Who is this for? And in a nutshell, what is this? Well, this headphone is for the true audiophile aficionado, let's say. It's for someone that has a wide range of amplifiers. It's someone that has a very high quality source. It's for someone that really wants to invest in everything from the cables to the DAC to the streamer to the amplifier, everything. Because this headphone, if you just buy it and want to put it into what I would consider still a very good amp and a very capable DAC, it's not going to quite give you the light that this headphone can shine onto music. This headphone is something where I would recommend it if you've really, really invested into amplification and digital analog converters and streamers and cables, as I said. And the reason being is I've never heard a headphone be able to really pick up on any slight nuance. Just to give you an example of this, my partner, who she's not even an audiophile, I changed the power cable into my amplifier that was heading into my headphones, and she could tell 10 times out of 10 just when I changed that cable. Now, it wasn't a world of difference, but she could keep saying, oh, it's this cable, now you're using this one, and now you're using this one. That really exemplifies what the D8000 Pro is. It's something that is like a window into everything behind it. How good is the song? How good is the source? How good is the DAC? What about the cables? What about the power? Everything. And why I love it as a headphone is simply this. It's rewarding. It's brutal, but it's rewarding. Any tinkering that I do, and I love tinkering with everything, I'll play with even speaker placement for months on end, and even millimeter by millimeter want to change and tweak things. So with this headphone, it gave me something where anything I did, I would hear the difference. And as a reviewer, that's gold, because it's going to tell and show me a lot. It's not going to cover up the bad. It's not going to maybe exaggerate the good because you've got something that's colored on top of something else that's colored that pulls up this one part of the range that makes this one type of music sound good. It's none of that. It's brutal it's honest, and it's pure. As I mentioned in the first impressions, the other thing it does very, very well is it portrays the song to you as it is. What I mean by this is not only are you going to hear imperfections, but the soundstage is going to be adaptable. It's not like the HD800 where the soundstage is always here, super wide. It's not like a HD600 where it's, really in your head in sort of 2 or 3 blobs. It molds and changes to the music. If it's an intimate recording, you're going to hear an intimate soundstage. But if you play something very vast, let's say something like Welcome to the Machine by Pink Floyd, you're going to hear this huge, expansive, wide soundstage. Not only that, but if you play orchestral pieces, you're going to hear scale and height. Not only that, you're going to hear depth, and that's always going to be changing depending on the music you're pairing it with. Now, in terms of its sound character, now that I've got what is this headphone out the way, the sound character is accurate, almost somewhat professional sounding. I would say, it's not really that Harman type of curve in terms of the tuning, if that's what you like. It's more sort of close to a diffuse field tuning. It's very nice, but where it struggles is it's a bit dry. And that dryness is something that it's hard to overcome unless you really put tubes into the equation. Now, in saying that, I still paired this with quite a few solid state amplifiers and quite a few different stacks I ran, and it was great, don't get me wrong, but it was great for an audition. And what I mean by great for an audition is, you get impressed with what you're hearing and you hear every detail and you go, wow, this is very impressive, but it never captures me. It never captures the imagination. It doesn't suck you into the performance. You don't get that warmth. You don't get that feeling like it's really happening, and you never let go. You never get out of analyst mode. You're always stuck in that hyper analyst mode, and we don't want to listen to music to analyze it. We want to listen to music to enjoy it. So what I did find is, out of a tube amp, that's where these shone, and they really did shine. They make music just so enjoyable, almost to the point where I was struggling to see if I preferred my headphone system or my full-scale HiFi system. And you might think, oh, well, it's totally different. But before, I really struggled to appreciate my headphones as much, because no matter the fact that I would get the benefits of headphones, you don't get that realism of, they're in the room with you. Well, let me tell you this. With even let's say a WA2 that I paired with this, which isn't the most expensive amplifier, into the Bricasti in that kind of stack, which isn't even a crazy price stack or even near the most expensive combination I used, which was the Pathos Impol, which took things to another level. But even with that stack, the depth I was getting was insane. If you close your eyes, you really get that feeling that the sound is out in front of you, and the detail you get is remarkable. I mean, if you really can try this headphone with a top-notch DAC, very good, clean, powerful amplifier, or a good tube amplifier, and you listen to your test tracks that you usually listen to, and A/B it with your current pair of headphones, because I A/B'd this with Susvara, the Focals, everything. I was very lucky to be able to try this with a wide range of headphones in comparison. And while, there were other parts in other headphones I preferred, when it came to being able to really set up and put it together a very good, expensive chain, I was really only left with this headphone and the Susvara as my two favorite choices. Now, when I drop out a huge amount of money that I invested into my gear, that's when those two headphones, or these two headphones, should I say, don't go to the top of my list. if I was having let's say I had a budget or still a fairly good amplifier and an okay DAC, but I spent, let's say, $1,000 on my amp and DAC combo, or even $1,500, this wouldn't be the headphone I'd buy. It doesn't really give bang for the buck in that way. I would prefer even something far different and far cheaper. To me, this D8000 Pro, it is absolutely worth it if you're someone that really wants to invest, as I said before, in the upstream components. And when you do that, or downstream components, should I say, and when you do that, you're going to get rewarded. Believe me, you'll get the best headphone experience money can buy, maybe bar the HE1, which I have heard 3 times, but not in a direct AB. And I mean, you get some benefits over that. You get more detail without a doubt. But if you're someone that thinks I'm going to buy this very expensive pair of headphones and throw it into my current stack, I think you might be a bit disappointed. It might be a little bit dry and it might not give you really what you want. And I would say there'd be other headphones that cost lesser amounts, like for example, my ZMF headphones. Now, my Verite closed, they're cheaper, but with my less expensive gear, I enjoy them more. They're more organic, they're more real, they take me into the performance, and while they aren't as hyper detailed, they're not dry and they sound beautiful. So I hope that gave you a good picture of everything. And if you want me to touch on bass, treble, and everything else, the bass is amazing. Pretty much all the way down to 20. It's not over exaggerated, it's not light, it's right where it should be. It's a very, very capable bass headphone when you provide the right amount of power. As I said, mids, very detailed, a little bit dry. And the highs, extremely detailed, and not fatiguing at all. Not peaky, not bright at all. So anyway, I hope that was a good summation of the headphone, and I hope that I didn't lose anyone in my convoluted approach, but I think this is the best way to describe the headphone. It is what you put into it, to some degree. Now, it still will be fantastic with lesser gear, but I would buy other choices of headphones with lesser gear. If I had about $1,000 below it, I'd rather be looking at things like HD 660, a LCDX, the Aria by HiFi. There's quite a few, even an HD 800, depending on what music I listen to. But there's other headphones that I probably would prefer to listen to, quite a few from ZMF too, if I wasn't pouring money into my downstream gear. But if you really wanted to, go top of the line and you want to invest and you do care about everything, this is the headphone for you. And the other one you want to compare to it is probably the Susvara. And that's probably where you would find, at this moment in time, in my opinion, the best sound quality you can get from a setup at home that isn't the HE1. And in fact, it's more detailed than the HE1. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one soon. I'm trying to get a video out every week. See you guys, and don't forget to like and subscribe.